Okay, Rick, we've gone live.
Hello, welcome. My name is Rick Brown, and I'd just like to introduce myself and Despina Mavru and Dion Sparks, who are my fellow lead tutors for Year 12. And we're here today together with Janet Willoughby and Joe Bishop, who are two of our careers support staff, and we're going to be meeting all your tutorial needs for today. Do you want to move it on to the next slide, please, Dion? So we're here today to make sure that you're clear on some things before your tutors meet you next week. And the first thing we want to make sure you're clear on is what tutorial is, the purpose it serves. A-levels are a brilliant qualification, but if you were to only attend A-level lessons, I think your education would be fairly narrow. It would be very exam focused, and you might feel even a little bit fragmented. If I teach you for politics, I'll probably treat you like a politics student, and your photography teacher might treat you like a photography student, and there might be nobody who kind of sees the big picture and sees the whole you. So it's your tutor's job to see the whole person that is you, and also make sure that nothing gets missed out. Among those things that tutorial does, we focus on study skills. Those are the key skills that underlie your success in all of your subjects. Also what we call skills for life. Those are those skills such as interview skills, those sort of interpersonal skills that you might need in a job, but also other life skills like to do with handling money, for example, that are absolutely essential, but not necessarily encapsulated in any A-level exam. We also focus quite heavily, and that's what we'll be doing quite a bit today, on your future, on progression. So it's your tutor who will be, for example, writing your UCAS reference. If you choose to go to university, make a mental note. You need to make sure you treat them well to get the best possible reference from them to persuade a potential university that the university wants you there. But also whatever route you're going into. In Year 13, we have a specialist tutor group that focuses on apprenticeships. We also have another specialist tutor group that focuses on art and design courses, and one that focuses on highly selective universities. So whatever your progression route is, we spend quite a lot of tutorial time helping you make those decisions. And those decisions may seem quite a long way away at this point, but it's important that we start thinking about them in order that we're ready when the time comes to make those decisions. The other thing I would say is it's not, for many of us, what's really important to us goes a little bit beyond just our courses and our education and our careers, but also the values which we hold dear. Values such as equality and diversity and preservation of the planet. Those are really, I think, at the core of what makes us us. And those are also areas that we're going to be focusing on in tutorial. So in summary, your tutor focuses on your needs. They meet you 4 times during the year on a one-to-one basis to identify your academic needs, to assess your progress in your various subjects. They're potentially a gateway that helps you access other services such as counselling or a careers interview or something like that if you've forgotten how to do any of those things. Next slide, please, Dion. We've bombarded you with quite a lot of information as a college in your first few weeks, and you could be forgiven for feeling a little bit overwhelmed at this stage. I just want to highlight the email that you received that invited you to this meeting has also attached a list of FAQs, frequently asked questions. Now, obviously, those were too small print to go into every single one, and that's the point of the sheet, that we're not going to go into them now. But just to point out that a lot of queries that teaching staff are getting, the answers are covered in summary form on that FAQ sheet. So a lot of it is information you may have already had, but it's absolutely central. I just want to highlight one answer there, that very first one. Who do I contact if I have a problem with my timetable? I think we've got most, but possibly not all, of the problems with timetables ironed out at this stage. But do not email Dominic at this stage if you want to change subject. It's too early to be doing that. We don't want, ideally, students to change subjects at all, because we don't want to kind of encourage what we might call subject tourism, where students are making decisions along the lines that, you know, this subject seems a little bit like hard work, I might try another subject and then another one. So for that reason, we are not making any changes at all in the first 2 weeks. If you think after long and hard reflection, you've made a very, very serious mistake in your choice of subjects, and you're doing a subject that is going to make you desperately unhappy for 2 years, and then there will be a brief window of opportunity to talk to your tutor about that and potentially make a change next week. But that will not be easy, particularly given how full a lot of courses are. So it's really not something we're seeking to encourage. I'm going to hand on now, I think, to Despina to talk to you a little bit about Google Classrooms.
Okay, hi everyone. So I assume that you have all had classes from last week where you've participated in Google Classroom. So I'm not going to go into how to get into Google Classroom and how to log in. I'm hoping that everyone knows how to do that. If you don't, then you need to be asking your tutor as soon as possible. So your tutorials will all take place on Google Classroom. So your tutor will either send you an email with a code, or they will invite you to join your Google Classroom tutorial class. So that is the hub of where everything to do with tutorial will be placed. All the key information. So I've put a little screenshot from a colleague's tutorial there, so you can have a look. You've got your year plan, you've got the learner behavior agreement, other key information will be on that Google Classroom tutorial. And then you will have topics every week. So you will have each week's tutorial lesson under a different topic, so you can go in. And then your tutor will put in the Google Meet link, where you can join your live Google Meet tutorial class, but also there will be quizzes, there will be questionnaires, there will be other resources that you can access. There will be a lot of interactive content. You will be doing some group work. I know that we're all away from each other and we're all behind our computers, but we are, we really want to get you as a tutor group. Once you meet your tutor group, we want you to be working as a group, and we will be setting you a lot of work that will help you get to know each other. Okay, over to Dion.
So hi, so my name's Dion Sparks, and I'm just going to talk to you a little bit now about expectations in tutorial. And this is one of our key messages. You'll probably hear this a few times from your tutors. The most important thing is to take advantage of all the amazing opportunities you will have over the next 2 years at the sixth form. And I think later you're going to hear in about 5 minutes from our careers team, and you're going to hear from some alumni students, and you'll see how much is on offer. The key thing is get involved, because the more you get involved, the more you'll get out of things. So some other expectations we want to highlight, and I think these are particularly important given the context of having been out of school and college routines for some time. It's really super important now that you get back into really good routines. So all the study habits that that made you successful at GCSE and have got you this far onto your A levels, you need to make sure you're polishing those up and getting into really good study habits. So that means you've got to be super organized. You've got to make sure you know what you need to do for all your subjects. You've got your files organized. You've got a good timetable for studying. You'll probably start to realise that A levels are going to require a lot more independent study than you put in at GCSE. So you'll need to plan that time and make sure that you're putting enough time in for each subject. Okay, so that's super important. Study habits and organisation. And alongside that, all the well-being things that are going to support you. And I think particularly for young people, one thing to highlight is your sleep patterns. So particularly having been out of formal education perhaps for some months, you'll need to make sure that you're getting into really good sleep patterns. So going to bed at a good time, getting up every day at the same time is going to really help you get the most out of your studies. Okay. I highlight that one actually because, funny enough, I had a conversation with some colleagues in a meeting yesterday, and they were getting all kinds of communication at odd times of night, late at night, early in the morning. So if you're one of those people, make sure you're now getting into good sleep routine. Okay. And then once we start, like in your actual group tutorials, you want to make sure that you're really engaging in all of those tutorials fully. As the speakers just said, they're going to be online in Google Classroom. So once you've got that link, you'll be able to have a look at all the activities, make sure you're completing all the tasks and turning them in, okay? And then Rick mentioned about being on the right course. Now, again, just want to emphasize, it isn't about switching courses just because one's a little bit challenging for a week. Clearly, that's not the point. But it is really important to make sure you have chosen the right courses and that you're on the right pathway. So it's going to take you in the direction you want to go. If you've got doubts, once you meet your tutor next week, they're the first person to have that conversation with. And of course, you can speak to your subject teachers. So if you're a little bit worried about your subject, talk to your teachers. The most important thing is talk first, don't make any rash decisions, and then have a sort of, you know, a level-headed kind of process of making any decisions. All right. And I think the key thing is for your tutor, like if you need help, they're going to be the person to ask. OK. So what you'll also find is Google Classroom is really important for all the day-to-day activities, and there'll be lots of key information there. But you also find that if you go through My Day, you've got a link to the tutorial Moodle page, and you've got all these, you can see the tiles here. You've got a number of bits of information that are going to help you through your studies, including a recording of this live event today. All right, so do go back there and have a look. You'll find things like your year plan, the FAQ sheet we just talked about, information on the student union. I imagine if you're on this call, you're very likely to be a super eager student, right? So you might well want to get involved in something like your student union, and that would be a great way to, you know, represent the students in your tutor group and get involved in the college. And you'll find information about that on the Moodle page. The other thing you'll find on the Moodle page is all about enrichment. Now, we actually offer a huge variety of enrichment activities. At the moment, it will be a bit scaled back because of not being able to do as much face-to-face as we normally would, but there still will be a really good program for you to look at. So as I said, my first point was get involved and take advantage of all the things on offer. So the first thing you'll want to do is make a note of these dates for the Fresher Fair, which is this week, so 14th to 25th of September. Okay, so there'll be links to events, and do check those out. Okay, so just moving on a little bit, I want to just remind you of some of the information you've received in the last 2 weeks. So week 1 of college, you were sent some information to help you with tutorial. One was complete the induction activities, and I'll say a little bit more about that in the next slide. And another one was to read this key information sheet, which will really help you with some of the key questions that you have and making sure that you're getting a good start to your A-levels. Okay. So in that induction activity sheet, we asked you to complete 3 tasks. So you'll need to make sure you've done those. So you go to the My Day app, you click the My Progress tile, and you'll find on the top tab your ILP. Okay, and then there are 3 little activities for you to complete: the About Me, the Skills Self-Assessment, and the induction checklist. So complete all those. If you haven't already done that, make sure you get those done this week so they're all ready for your tutor, who will check those next week. Okay, the About Me is really helpful for your tutor. They can see if there's any issues that they need to support you with. The other little task that we've asked you to do is the Keeping Safe modules, and absolutely every single student must complete these modules. It's not difficult, it's really straightforward. You go on the Keeping Safe tile, you click the Keeping Safe modules, and it will take you through that process. And once you've gone through it, you'll get a certificate. Okay, so make sure you complete those. And in your second week, so that's this week, you've received another layer of correspondence, and you've received your safeguarding at Candy booklet, so make sure you've read that. And then you've got your FAQ sheet, so that's to help you with all the questions you might have. Okay, right, so just highlighting again the Freshers Fair. This is just a little poster, so you can see the sorts of things: sports, Duke of Edinburgh, mentoring, poetry, quiz, student union, arts workshop, National Citizen Service, LGBTQ+, sexual health, and lots more. So get involved. Some of it, of course, will be online, and you know, it's really important you get involved. Careers will be speaking to you in a moment, but the really important thing to do with careers is to make sure that you're reading the Get Ahead news. So that's going to be published fortnightly, and there's a link here. You'll find the link on the Careers Moodle page, and you've got a link to the Swathe office, which has got the updates fortnightly, and also a really good tip: subscribe to the Careers YouTube channel, which has got loads of lovely videos and lots of really useful information. Okay, so just finishing off now on our bit from tutorial, which is exciting because next week you will actually have a tutor, a real proper person. So what you'll need to do from tomorrow is check your timetable on EBS. So go back on there, check your timetable for your tutor group details. All right, so you'll find out who that is and when it is, and you will be getting a link from your tutor to join the Moodle page, sorry, the Google Classroom, and tutorials will start from next Monday. All right, so I hope that's really useful to kind of keep you up to date with things in tutorial. And so that's it from us lead tutors, and we're going to pass over now to the careers team and to Janet.
Thanks very much, Dion. So we're just going to, I'm Jo Bishop, I'm head of careers here at Sixth Form. So I'm going to introduce you to Janet Willoughby, who's one of our careers advisors, who you will definitely meet virtually and hopefully face to face over the next couple of years. So if you just bear with us while Janet shares her desktop.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, can you see my screen? Okay, so welcome everybody to Seize the Day, and as the title suggests, it's pretty much a session to kickstart your ideas and to really get you feeling part of the Sixth Form experience here. So as I said, my name's Janet Willoughby and I work in the careers team, and let's just get started. Okay, so the aims of today's session is we're going to really look at the benefits of extracurricular activities. We're going to explore the skills that employers are actually looking for, and we're going to be literally dissecting enrichment and considering why, when and how, especially in light of the new virtual landscape that we're all living in. We're going to get some top tips for some Candy alumni. We're really fortunate to have their presence in a live Q&A, and also we're going to be focusing in on the amazing Get Ahead news and how to find it on Moodle. Okay, so what are we seizing here? So really we're seizing year 12, aren't we? So we're really going to get kick-started in this amazing year. We want you to get ready for your A-levels. We want to be able to seize the range of opportunities that are available to you, to explore your existing skills and qualities and attributes that you all have, and to understand the kind of competitive and exciting jobs that are available and opportunities, and really for you to make the most of your time whilst you're with us, really. As it suggests, it's time to really seize the day. Okay, so here we have a robust careers programme schedule. So obviously we're in September, as Dion mentioned earlier, there's an online enrichment fair, and also Seize the Day, which is what we're doing here now. We've got What Next After A-level sessions in January, and options, apprenticeship gap year opportunities and information there. February, we've got like a closer look at higher education, where we actually really really shine a torch on the UCAS application process and how to research into courses and institutions. In March, obviously, we're then looking at like parents' evening sessions, and then moving towards the summer, it's all about researching and careers fairs. And throughout this process, we will be offering you ongoing one-to-one support. So, albeit virtually, we just want you to all know that we are all here and all ready to support you all individually on your journeys. Okay, so please don't forget that. And throughout the year, we'll be informing you about the careers link to book an appointment. So it's all there for you. So just make sure you are present and in the know. Really important. Okay, so quickly, we're just going to touch upon what is actually work experience. So obviously, work experience we encourage as something that is segmented aside from your college days here or non-teaching days. So really it's about fitting it in around any breaks that you have from learning. So like, for example, Easter or half term. So please don't let it infringe on your learning. It's really important that you're really creative in your experiences, especially now in light of the virtual world that we're in. Virtual work experience is just as valued and it's just as good. I think this is really an exciting time to be more creative in our approach to the definition of shadowing and really gaining some industry insight. And there is so much for you to kind of explore and gain. I mean, we as a sixth form, we really do value work experience. And obviously it's something that happens within this year 12 window. So really, really important that you know that opportunities are live. Okay, so obviously we all need the essential skills upon completing any form of education at any level. That employability is something that it runs alongside everything we do. So it's things like, you know, self-management, especially now more than ever. As Dion was saying earlier, it's really important that we are able to manage our time and our routine much more so. Team working, that good old-fashioned one, it's always there. Being able to collaborate and share ideas and give mutual respect to one another. Problem solving is always a great one. Being media savvy, I think we've all learned to be more and more media savvy, being more receptive to media and visual communication. I'm an absolute fan of GIFs, as you come to know me more in the career service. I love to use GIFs and images to really convey key messages. And obviously we've got a new YouTube channel and editing and all that kind of software is now more paramount in our work. So it's really, really important. Obviously you guys are the future and it's really important that you are far more receptive to media. Commercial awareness, really important, because obviously it's about having an overview and an understanding of the sector that you're interested in. Communication, obviously punctuality, attendance, and you get all of these skills from work experience. So it really helps you build up upon who you are and where your strengths are. And obviously work experience really helps you to understand whether you like something or not. How do we know if we like something unless we try it? So that is another good thing. It really helps us make those links, and also to just be positive in whatever we do. Okay, so it's really about building that CV, that portfolio of your life here at Candy. And here's just a little synopsis of the sorts of work experience enrichment opportunities that we have on offer. So we have like the Lloyd's Junior Scholars Programme for students that are interested in like finance and banking. Legal Action, which is a programme that I actually run. It's an absolutely amazing project, plug. And we pretty much have everybody that you need to know in the legal capacity that comes in and shares with our students. And we've had some amazing speakers in the past. I mean, we were very close. We had booked in David Lammy, MP, last year, but then lockdown happened. So we're very much hoping to get him back. But there are so many more interesting things that you can get involved in. Toast is a student magazine, etc., etc. There is so much for you to explore here. So I thought I'd show you a screen grab of the Candy Enrichment booklet glossary. So this year they've really colour coded it under career pathways. So as you can see, it just helps you to kind of navigate your way within the different enrichment areas that we have. So we've got like medical pathways, world studies, sports, business, and they're all colour coded. So if you look at the next slide now, you'll see quite clearly what I was talking about. So for example, it shows you here. So for example, My World, My Home programme, it's colour coded general science, for example, and world studies. So it's colour coded according to pathways to make it easier for you to navigate your way through. Okay, here's a quick screen grab of some of the employers that we've worked with. So we're really, really well connected in the career service here, and we do our utmost to try and make experiences meaningful for young people. And we support you with also your own job searches as well. All right, so it was mentioned earlier, Get Ahead News. I'm just going to show you very quickly how you will access it. So here you'll see it sits within Candy Students on the Moodle page. There you go, Moodle. And then you click on Student Support, Sixth Form Centre, and there it lives, Get Ahead News. So all the back editions sit within that segment. And just to show you what it looks like, this is the latest edition of Get Ahead News, issue 1, hot off the press. And it's also emailed to your student inbox as well. Just to say, if there's any questions that you may have for us, you know, please feel free at any time to send us an email through the careers inbox. So please don't feel obliged to kind of know and remember everything that's said to you today, okay? So that's Get Ahead News, packed with lots of virtual experience opportunities now. Okay, as alluded to earlier, just wanted to kind of remind you to subscribe to our Careers YouTube channel. There's the link, and it just gives you a little synopsis of some of the videos that we already have uploaded on there. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we have been fortunate enough to get some experiences from our Candy alumni students. So the first person that you're going to hear from is Chima, and he couldn't make it today, but thankfully I had a recording from him before he left year 13, and he wanted to kind of share the value of enrichment from his perspective. I do hope you can hear it clearly, but the recording will be posted on the YouTube channel if it's not that clear.
Hi, my name is Chima, and I'm currently writing maths, economics, and psychology. Through careers, I've been gaining awareness and knowledge of opportunities that's enabled me to write my bachelor student at such a high standard. If you're in year 12, right now is a perfect time, because when you get to year 13, I have UCAS to deal with, personal statement, grades to get for university, applying for university. It's just too much when you get to year 13 to try to fit in stuff that could have been done in year 12. So all this enrichment, focusing on year 13. And finally, I know that it's going to be a bit weird, especially as a boy, to come in to do academia, because you kind of feel like, oh, so many girls up there, none of my boys want to go there. But sometimes you actually have to, sometimes you just have to be the first person to show your group of friends, nah guys, we can actually do stuff like this. It's not just for females, it's for everyone. So go out there, be the first one, because we truly have all my friendship group in this college and outside the college, outside other schools. Only 3 of us have actually done extra stuff. So if I could do it, I'm sure anyone can do it. Especially me, I get kind of not nervous, but I don't like being around places where I don't see people like me. But I went out there, stuck my head out, and I've reaped the benefits. So if I could show my personal statement, it will show really well that yeah, I've actually done quite a lot. And because of that, when I go apply for university, I finish my university degree, I'm still going to continue this attitude of going out there, seeking other opportunities to add to myself. Because really and truly, the only disadvantage we have, I mean, by we, I mean people who are applying to university, have from people who've done apprenticeship is the experience part. So the only way people who are going for university gain experience is through these enrichments, work placement, internships, work insights, anything like that. That's what gains you experience. That's what makes you capable to compete with someone that's done an apprenticeship. So if you know you're trying to go to university, even if you're trying to go apprenticeship, need to do all of this extra stuff that adds to you. Just wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Chima. So I think the key things that he was saying was about grabbing opportunities. And he was pretty much alluding to the fact that he did feel a little bit shy initially in terms of feeling like, you know, the boy in the group and feeling like, oh my God, my boys are not part of this. But he's pretty much sending a very clear message that, you know, if I can do it, so can you. Go out there and be that person and grab those opportunities. And it really helped to enrich his personal statement. And he's now studying economics at Essex University. So he did really well, but he was really keen to impart that message, especially to the boys, to go out there and seize the day and seize enrichment opportunities. Really, really important. So here's another snippet I wanted to show you. The full interview can be viewed on our Careers YouTube channel. So this is from an employer's perspective. So this is Mo, and he's the people manager at Lloyds Banking Group. And you'll see exactly what was said here. So let me just play it.
I totally agree with what you're saying. So what would be like the key kind of things that would make you stand out from a crowd? Because obviously if you've got a group of, you know, CVs or application forms, or like for example with your own scenario where you were applying for an opportunity, what would you say are the things that would make you stand out? Because obviously if you've got a whole pile that have been shortlisted and for example they've all got the same, you know, A levels or the same sort of degree classification, so what would be the things that would make you unique, or things that are memorable on that application if you're, you know, if you were having to sift, for example?
Good question. As a student, specifically for your experience. So now, of course, you might be asking the same question I used to ask when I was a student. How can I have experience when I'm a student, full-time student? Well, they want to see that above being a student, you're making an extra effort to do things. So when I say experience, I'll give you an example. I was a volunteer at Air Cadets while I was unemployed. Every single interview I had, they asked me about Air Cadets. They were like, so the Air Cadets, what's that about? They are very interested to see what you do in your free time. So if you're a full-time student, you all have straight A's or whatever grades you have, what else do you do in your free activities? So whether that's volunteering, whether that's a part-time job, whether that's some sports or recreational activities, whether you've traveled or gone abroad, a year abroad, they want to see that, and for you to demonstrate what you've learned from that. So you could say, I play football, but okay, so what? What do you do? What have you learned? And what skills out of that activity can bring to this job? But so in terms of what to do to stand out, they want to see, or we want to see, that you're doing more than just being a full-time student. Because I'm guessing you all are full-time students. Yeah, so that's a big thing. And being able to articulate those specific skills in those activities is then another level. Because we've had applications where people do say, oh, I do this and that. Okay, so what? What is it? What do you do in that? What skill are you trying to say is relevant for this job in what you do in that activity? So it's one thing being able to say you do more than being a student. It's another thing also being able to articulate what you take out of that activity and what you will bring to this job. Mm-hmm. That's what we want to see. And the more the merrier. We want to see a lot of the practical examples, because we understand that it's one thing getting a qualification, but practical work is different. And if you can demonstrate that, pluses.
Okay. So he was there talking about how to kind of convert and gain currency in your extracurricular activities, which is really important.
I totally agree.
Okay, so there's another slide I wanted to show you. Just gives you a synopsis, because you may be wondering what sorts of careers enrichment experiences that we have here at the sixth form. So let me just play you this very short montage. So as you could see there, there's absolutely loads that happens in this careers team. Okay.